Hi there, my name is Laddick. I am the principal of e-learning advocacy here at Open LMS, and I'm coming to you today to talk to Silliman University for this live customer spotlight that we want to give you. Silliman University is in the Philippines, and my guest for today is Dr. Dave Marcial. Before we bring Dave onto the stage with me, or I guess as we bring Dave onto the stage, I want to just do a brief introduction. Hi, Dave. How are you doing today?
Hello, thank you for inviting me, and I'm so happy and excited to be with this fantastic and amazing interview.
Excellent, excellent. Dr. Dave, let me just take 2 seconds to give a little background on you. You are a technical committee member for IT education of the Philippine Commission on Higher Education. You are an executive director of the Asian University Digital Resource Network. You're on the board of trustees of the Computing Society of the Philippines. You're the former president of the Philippine Society of IT Educators and the former vice president of the Philippine E-Learning Society. I am in the, company of what seems like majesty here, which is fantastic. But all of this is wrapped around Silliman University, and so I welcome you to this customer spotlight. Tell me, to get us started, Dr. Dave, I've teed you up with all of your academic credentials and what you've done, but tell us about Silliman University and the work that you do, kind of day to day.
Yeah, before anything else, I'd like to say hi to our viewers here. Well, I am Dave Marshall. I'm an associate professor at Silliman University, and just very recently, the director of the Office of Silliman Online University Learning. This is an academic office under the Vice President for Academic Affairs that envisions a leadership role in the responsible use of information and communication technology in the instruction, research, and community outreach towards total human development for the well being of the society and environment. And formerly, I was the Dean of the College of Computer Studies at Silliman University.
Fantastic. So, what are some interesting facts about Silliman University? What makes it a top university in the Philippines?
Ladik, Silliman University is 120th years. We just celebrated our 120th founding anniversary. With that years of existence, we continue to achieve our vision to be a leading Christian institution committed to total human development for the well-being of society and environment. From a school for the boys to an autonomous university offering diverse courses that emphasizes whole person education, which
Mm,
is actually, yeah, guided by three components that make us unique from other university, make us humans, which is the mind, the heart, and our soul. And when I say whole person education, we are referring to the holistic development of one's competence, character, and faith, which make it unique from other university, which we approach to learning as it is encapsulated in its trifocal ministry of teaching, healing, and preaching. And of course, when we talk about whole person education, it is the convergence of three factors: pedagogy, venues for interaction, and service learning. That is why we always take pride to say that the Silliman's education is equal to 5 C's. And these are the classroom, the church, the cultural center, the court, and the community. This is, of course,
mm,
on top, Ladik, of the many distinctions that we receive from our Commission on Higher Education, and some international agencies that gave and regarded Silliman as distinct from the other institutions in the country.
Wow, that was a very complete answer. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. You said that the university is 120 years old. Um, Obviously, e-learning wasn't around 120 years ago, but it has been around for 20 or so years. How have you made the move into this e-learning? What's your journey been to sort of become an online institution to deliver education, through the internet? Take us through that journey.
Yeah, I really like the the question about journey because e-learning in the university is very close to my heart. When I started at Silliman, way back on that year, but
A year
just to
ago.
start, just, to start in the beginning of the e-learning journey in the university, it's actually started in 2008 when e-learning was stipulated in the strategic plan of the university. It is actually a 10-year university strategic plan. There are a couple of pages in that strategic plan that highlighted the integration of e-learning program, and that was
Hmm.
Silliman Online University Learning started with the main objective of promoting the use of modern information technology, generally designed to expand Silliman's commitment to total human development for the well-being of society and environment. And basically at that time, it aims to acquire and deliver learning and trade product, because this was the time when technology business incubation was also introduced in the university. Um, Trade products remotely, mainly
Hmm.
through the cyberspace, of course, while maintaining and upholding our mission and vision. But unfortunately, on that year, 2008, it did not take off as expected. There are resistance to change, acceptance on the new mechanisms of teaching and learning. In other words, it did not take off. In fact, there are many evaluations that we did not achieve what is expected to us, as we try to achieve also what is stipulated in our strategic plan. Fast
Hmm.
forward in 2018 with our new president, um, one of the one of the banner program of our newly installed president way back 2018 is on the need of retooling and reskilling among our faculty and staff with the use of 21st century skills, of course using digital technology in the classroom. So in the same year, um, when I was the dean in the College of Computer Studies, we established a department called Educational Technology Department with the aim to respond the demand from the administration to oversee the digital retooling program in the university. And then a year after that, 2019, we partnered with the Open LMS to to revive and to revitalize our learning management system and repackage our MySoul to deliver as a blended learning mode. And take note that
Hmm.
was before COVID. No, before
Sure.
COVID, we already um, integrated blended learning in our teaching and learning before COVID. So COVID time in June 2020, because of the demand of the time, because of the the pandemic, the university decided to put up a separate office, and that's my office right now, the Silliman Online University Learning, as a result of the decision of the university to go fully online. So all our programs from kindergarten to postgraduate studies are fully online right now. So we
Did you
started
just
as
did you
a
just say did you just say kindergarten to postgraduate?
yes,
Oh
kindergarten to
wow.
postgraduate. Yes.
That's a new one for
Uh,
me. I've never seen like literally the full life cycle of the education system. That's fantastic.
from kindergarten, kinder one up to postgraduate, postgraduate, and that's really interesting. And a very challenging journey to me as a director of this online learning in the university. And I
So
believe that,
how
yes, please go ahead.
I apologize. We're on opposite sides of the planet, so we have a little bit of a delay. Um, when you were in the Office of Education Technology, how did you look at different online systems? Like, did you have specific frameworks that you used to determine, how you're going to do this? What type of methodologies you had, or what was that process like?
Yeah. Because of the lessons learned, remember we did not we were not able to achieve what was expected way back 2008. So there are a lot of lessons learned. There are a lot of checklists and notes that we have to consider when we wish to move forward and change our strategy. So particularly in choosing a right learning management system. So we have a lot of checklists before deciding coming up into a provider that we could partner with. Of course, pedagogy is there, accessibility, and technical support is also one of our major considerations.
Okay, fantastic. So as you said, you had chosen Open LMS, but pre-pandemic, you were already prepared for this. You had already making some decisions. And you said through from 2008 to 18, you had evolved your thinking. You were already on the path, and you were well on your way. Why Open LMS? What were some of the important factors that led Silliman to choose Open LMS as his e-learning partner?
Yeah, choosing Open LMS also is part of the journey. It did not just like in one decision, one presentation. It's there. I think there were a couple of months, and I think many times we keep on communicating with several providers. Also, there are three things that me being the director highlighted up we on top of the several checklists and requirements that we are looking for our open lms. It's really more of one is on affordability, second is on a very dependable and accessible technical support, and three is because there is high acceptance among our clients, I mean among our stakeholders, teachers, and at the same time the different administrators, that we can also relay to our provider, the open lms, which in short is more on customization of our needs and our requirements.
Mm. Give me a sense. I'm pretty sure you haven't mentioned this yet. How big is the campus at Silliman? Is it 10,000, 20,000? I mean, how many people are you serving?
Yeah, we are serving in my office. We are serving virtually and literally all students from kindergarten to postgraduate. We have a total of almost 11,000. Enrollment is still
Okay.
going on, but that's the average. 10,000 students and 10,000 plus, in other words. And we cater um, almost 500 full time faculty and staff also.
And so the thing that's
Full
kind of
time
blowing my
and
mind right
part time
now
teachers.
is how are you how are you able to set up a program where you can work with all of those different teachers, especially across such a broad spectrum, right, from kindergarten to postgrad, to be effective? And then on the flip side, how do you work with the students to be ready to be able to take part in remote learning or hybrid learning, however you want to do it? Like, talk me through that strategy, or how that process works.
Yeah, I think the overarching strategy is on the leadership from top administrators. I can say that because of the pandemic, there was an accelerated movement of the acceptance and embracing educational technology in general. So the
Hmm.
overarching strategy really is the leadership, starting from the board of trustees to our president, vice academic president, then me as the director. It was so easy for me to translate this mandate from the top administrator going to the teacher, because the teachers also there is high acceptance during that time. So to my end, we developed several ways for the teachers to to fast track also their learning curve. because research shows in my previous research, learning curve in understanding technology integration is really, really slow. So what we did is we developed a virtual training classroom, which we actually put that inside OpenLMS, inside our learning management system. We have a sort of virtual training room where capacity building were offered, but not just capacity building activities. We highlighted, like last year, we highlighted upskilling, not just simply utilization, but how to augment online teaching. And towards the end, right now, we are working with upscaling more on how to increase student engagement with the use of our
Mm.
learning management system. We assigned a training specialist, and we identified a pool of trainers for tutorial where they can access anytime during, of course, during office hours for tutorial and assistance. We developed several formats of tutorial in lieu of our absence, like video. We have a YouTube channel where they can follow through the instruction on how to do things, printed materials like the manual. And all of these are not just simply technological in nature. What we emphasize more is to on the pedagogic perspective of our tutorial and instructions. In terms of the student side, um, what we did is we conducted several orientation among our students for
Mm.
kindergarten, elementary, and junior high school, the School of Basic Education. We address our training and orientation to the parents. So parents come
Hmm.
in via an online platform. We tell them what to do and so on and so forth. Again, we develop also YouTube channel for our students, for our parents on how to do things, and then we created also a virtual office for parents and for students, for them to again access some tutorial videos, printed materials, and some other stuff that would help them accelerate acceptance and learning the process of online distance learning, at the same time the use of our learning management system. And toward the end, every at the end of the semester, we conducted survey evaluation, and we make sure that we presented it back to our student body. Just like even 2 weeks ago, I have in a communication with our student government, student
Hmm.
government, on we discuss things on how to improve our online distance learning in the university. And in fact, later in this afternoon also, I'll be discussing with our teachers on how to improve our online distance learning.
So it begs the question: what are some of the challenges that you're going to be addressing? What are some of the pieces of feedback where either maybe things didn't go as planned, or there were real gaps, or things that could be improved? Can you share some of those?
1 year Ladek is not enough to learn fully the ideal online distance teaching. 1 year is
Uh-huh.
not enough. But I can assure, data shows, our evaluation shows that there is a certain degree of acceptance, and there is a certain degree of satisfaction as experienced by our students, our stakeholder of this educational system that we are offering to them. There are still room to improve, particularly on assessment and feedbacking. There are so many variables. My office is looking at different variables into student engagement, and we found out certain specific engagement that we need to improve. That is why in one of our strategy for our training is the theme for our training in the next 3 months is actually how to increase student engagement. It's not anymore how to use the LMS. It's not anymore how to take the quiz, but more on the pedagogic and the strategies that we can improve student engagement.
Mm, fantastic. Final question for you, Dr. Dave, is, if we think about the future, now that you've done your year, you're now in the feedback sort of and learning cycle, where is the university feeling like it's heading? Obviously, you're going to close gaps that you had found this year. You're going to continue to improve, but longer term thinking, is there, what sort of initiatives are you interested in terms of augmented reality, immersive technologies, these kinds of things? What do you have planned, or what do you see in the future?
Yeah, these technologies are obviously considered, no, because in my office we have a four interrelated mission as a long-term strategy of the university. This is primarily on the elevation. We wanted to elevate the integration of ICT in the university, in collaboration with other departments and other units and other strategic partners in achieving student-centered, outcomes-based, and whole person education. Primarily we wanted to, how do we see ourselves, we wanted to initiate development of online programs, both curricular and co-curricular. What does it means? Right now we are allowed by our government to offer fully online because we are in an emergency state, but we wanted to have a separate program that will be delivered fully online, not just because of COVID, but because it is what is being accepted and permitted by our government. Second, we also aim to implement several complex but customized e-learning strategies to enhance teaching and learning, research and development, and extension and community engagement. It means that we wanted to continue our operation of how Silliman is being famous of in terms of research and development, in terms of community engagement with the use of educational technology. We were freeze for a year in our service learning, community and extension program because face to face is not allowed. I kept on, advocating that we can still go on with our community extension, do research and development with the use of digital technology. Third is because Seliman is famous and distinctive in terms of the five C's of our education. I wanted to look at these five C's at the lens of information technology, how we can integrate educational technology in church teaching and learning, in court, in culture, and all of these things. Last but not the least, of course, with the with with the kind of revolution that we have right now, the fourth industrial revolution, Internet of Things, and all of this stuff, this entails cost. This entails
Hmm.
cost, but our our mission is really to assess software and hardware capacities for improvement and upgrading the entire teaching and learning component of the university, particularly on pedagogical approach in terms of leadership, technology, and processes. Of course, looking at the different perspective from the administrator's perspective, from the student perspective, and from the teachers and staff perspective.
Fantastic. Dr. Dave Marcial, I really appreciate you taking time out of your morning today to speak with us about Silliman University, and I wish you all the luck. Look forward to talking to you again sometime in the near future.
Thank you very much for having me.